Hi friends, welcome back to Baking with Brittany. Today we are going to be making a triple chocolate cake. I am going to be using some box mix and then we're going to have some fun with the icing. Today we're going to be decorating it Disney style. So we're going to do little Mickey Mouses on one side and then polka dots on the other for Minnie Mouse. So let's get started. Okay, so to make this cake, you're gonna just follow the instructions right on the back. You only need 3 ingredients, and it's gonna be 1 1/4 cup of water, right here, a half a cup of vegetable oil, and 3 eggs, as so. You're gonna need a large mixing bowl, one of our spatulas, and a hand mixer or whisk. If you use a whisk, you'll have to whisk it pretty intensely for about 2 minutes, just so you know. So we're gonna start out by putting our dry ingredients in and making sure our eggs don't roll away, because I've definitely had eggs roll away from me on the counter. It's not fun. The cleanup is real gross. Just gonna pull the whole thing out. And because I don't want cocoa powder everywhere, which is also a scenario that's happened to me, I'm gonna cut it open. So some of you may know, some of you may not know. I did the Disney College program last spring semester. So Disney holds a really special place in my heart just because of that time, and I come from a really big Disney family. So my grandpa actually got us really into Disney, took us to Disney like every summer, and it holds a lot of really special memories for me. So we're gonna decorate today like that. So once you have your dry ingredients in there, you're gonna put the water in, 1 1/4 cup. And if you forget, all the instructions are on the back of the box, so it's totally fine. Then you are going to do a half a cup of vegetable oil. So I'm just using Crisco pure vegetable oil, nothing fancy. Filling that up. And just dumping it in. The nice thing about box mix is you don't need a whole lot to get your batter. It's usually just about 3 ingredients, which is really nice. And then you're just gonna crack your eggs in, making sure that you don't get any shells in that batter. So this one takes 3 eggs, some of them take 2, some of them take 4. It all depends on what kind of cake you're making. But because we're making like a super moist cake, this one actually says that it has pudding mix in the like dry ingredients that we put in. So it's gonna be a really, really moist cake. That's why it has 3 eggs and the vegetable oil. So we're gonna take our hand mixer and you're gonna put it in. You're gonna put it on like a medium tempo. LOL, speed. And you're just gonna mix it around. So while we're doing this, I figure I might as well talk about my favorite Disney moments. So I'm gonna start with a family memory. So we used to drive down to Florida from Ohio in an RV, and the drive was about 15 to 17 hours depending on traffic. And some of my best memories come from that RV. And some of my most screamy memories. So I vividly remember getting my first paper cut in that RV. I was in a children's safety seat and I was reading Barbie magazine because why not? I was probably like 4. And I turned the page and I got a paper cut, and because I love the dramatics, I screamed so loud, my mom came running. I think she thought I lost a limb. I was just like freaking out. And she was like, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong? I was like, my finger, my finger, my finger. And she looked at it and she was like, this is a paper cut. And I was like, it hurts. I got a Band-Aid, I'm pretty sure. And I don't remember the rest of that trip. Except for getting to Cinderella's castle and getting sat on the like ledge of the bridge that leads into like the tunnel that goes through the castle. I still, to this day as an adult, Magic Kingdom is just so magical to me. All right. So we've got our batter here. Let it drip off for a sec. And I'll just show you what that looks like. I know it's gonna drip on the counter. I'm gonna grab a paper towel. Did I get it? Yes. Okay. So your batter's gonna be a little liquidy, just because it's a very moist batter. Okay? I don't wanna tip the bowl all the way. I hope you can see it. So then we're gonna set that aside, and we're gonna move this out of the way. And we're gonna get our cake pan. Remove that cap. And we're gonna spray our cake pan with Pam, just so that when the cake comes out of the oven, it slides out of the pan nice and easy. Spray all the edges, as so. And then we're gonna pour the batter in. Now this batter is gonna bake for 30 to 35 minutes. So I'm probably gonna put the timer on like 33. And then I'm gonna check it with a toothpick. So I'm just gonna pop the toothpick right into the cake in the oven. And when I pull it up, if it comes out clean, the cake is ready. If it comes out with batter on it, the cake needs a few more minutes in the oven. That's a nice, easy way to tell. And we've put the oven on for 350. So we're just gonna pop this in there. Then in 30 to 35 minutes, we're gonna take that out, let it cool for a few minutes while we make our icing, and then we'll get to decorate it. All right, so we let the cake bake for 30 minutes, and I checked it with a toothpick, and the toothpick came out nice and clean, so the cake was ready. Then I let it chill for about 30 minutes because we are using a buttercream icing. And if we put the buttercream on too soon, it will just melt right off. So I've got white buttercream here in this little piping bag from my local grocery store. And if you don't have a piping bag, you can just scoop a container of icing into a Ziploc bag and snip the corner off. It'll do the same thing. And then I've got this red buttercream icing that I just used some food coloring to change its color. So one half is going to be red with white polka dots for Minnie Mouse's dress, and the other side is going to be white with multicolored Mickey Mouse heads on it. So this is what we've done. I've separated the cake with a line so that I know which side is which. And it's a little crooked, but that's okay. It's fine. There are no accidents, just happy little trees, like Bob Ross says. All right, and we're gonna fill the one side with white. I'm just piping it all on here. And really by piping, I mean I am just squeezing this out and putting it on the cake. All right. And so we are just going to have this big glob of icing on one side, okay? And we're gonna spread it out with our spatula. Just like the gooey dessert we did last week, we wanna make sure we're touching both corners, not all four, because we're doing half and half. But we still want everyone to get icing. And you can use as much or as little as you like. I just piped out the bag. I'm gonna spread it over the line just a little bit because I was uneven. And that's how we make happy trees out of an accident. And while we're doing this, I figure I will tell you one of my favorite memories of being a cast member at Walt Disney World. So, when I worked for Walt Disney World in last spring, I worked in Animal Kingdom. I worked in merchandise there. And I worked in Africa, which is a very small section of Animal Kingdom. And so we all became pretty close-knit friends. And what we used to like to do was at the end of our shift, if we got off like a half hour before our park closed, we would run to Pandora because it was brand new this year. And we would sprint to Flight of Passage. So it was me and two of my fellow cast members. We were like, we gotta go, because we've got just like 5 minutes to get over there, and it usually takes about 10. And so my one friend took off like a rocket. I have never seen someone run so fast in my whole life. And she got there and she was like, my two friends are coming, my two friends are coming, my two friends are coming. And they were like, okay, as long as they're here before 9, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. And we had 2 minutes to get there. And we got there and Rachel was like, I saved our spot, y'all, I got it. And that night we rode Flight of Passage as friends. It was super, super fun and insane to watch her just take off like a rocket. So funny. So I've got our white, got a little bit of chocolate specks in there, but that's okay. No biggie. And now we're gonna do our red. I almost said white again. That's not correct. Minnie was probably one of my favorite characters to go visit in Magic Kingdom as an adult just visiting and as a cast member. People used to ask me all the time while I was working there if working for Disney sort of ruined the magic of the parks, and it didn't. Honestly, it enhanced it for me because then I got to realize what was behind all of that magic and how we created it, and then I got to recreate that experience for guests who came through, and it was amazing because I got to relive the beautiful memories I made with my mom and my grandpa and my grandma and my aunt and all of us who went down for these families who maybe it was their first time or maybe it was their 100th time, but I still got to create beautiful magical moments with them, which was really impactful to me. I loved it. All right. So here we have icing all over our hands, but we've got white and red cake. There we are. This smells like, if you've ever been to Walt Disney World, this icing smells just like the confectionery on Main Street in Magic Kingdom. It's kind of cool. So for the Mickey Mouse heads, we're going to be using this gel glitter right here. We're just going to be drawing on the little Mickey Mouse heads. We're just going to do little individual ones. We're doing multicolor. So for Mickey's 90th birthday last year, they debuted brand new outfits for Minnie and Mickey. They were white with these super, super fun rainbow colored polka dots all over them. And they wore them for everything. And at Walt Disney World, they celebrated Mickey's birthday all year round. It hit like his 90th and they were like, you know what? This is a year-long celebration and we are here for it. So I'm gonna do a couple of these. I'm gonna lift up and show you what they look like. They're gonna look like that. And you're gonna put them all over the cake. Bring it a little closer. Yeah. And we're gonna put these all over the white side. So we used to, part of our training to work as cast members was to learn how to draw these little Mickey Mouse heads on like congratulations buttons and happy birthday buttons. And it was like actually a full part of our training, which was kind of funny. You never really think about like, how do I draw 3 circles? Like to be perfect, to look like our iconic mascot. And trust me, they weren't always perfect. You could catch me at any of my locations practicing on a button that I got when I was visiting, just like as a guest. Because we had to have this like perfect handwriting too. It was very good training in like quick training in calligraphy. Like, how fast can you write happy birthday so-and-so in the nicest handwriting possible? Now sometimes your gel is gonna spread out, so they might not all look like Mickey Mouse. Like I am looking at one right now that's slowly turning into a blob, but that's okay. The intention is still there. And you're just sort of blooping them out. If any of you have favorite Disney memories, comment below, let us know. Because those are, honestly, going to Disney was just some of my best childhood memories and some of my best adult memories. I got what they called pixie dusted for the first time as an adult, which is where you go into a place, it's like Princess Boutique or Disney Boutique. I forget exactly what it's called, but it's right behind the castle. And they say this like little thing above you, it's like, faith, trust, pixie dust, may it always live within you. And it is the cutest. And then they sprinkle glitter all over you. Now, granted, you have glitter all over you for the next like month, but I honestly cried as an adult, as an adult woman. I cried on someone that I was like, oh, we share a break room, I'm so sorry. I also still, as an adult, cry every time I see Mary Poppins. I know that it's not Mary Poppins, but it is. It is, and it makes me cry. So we've got little Mickey Mouses. Minus that one in the center, ignore that. It's a blob, but that's fine. So now we're gonna move on to our red side, and we're gonna do our polka dots. So I'm using this bag, and it's got a piping tip inside of it. But as I said before, you can just scoop it into a Ziploc, cut the tip, it'll do the same thing. And here we go. We've got our finished Mickey and Minnie cake. We've got her iconic polka dots and multicolored Mickeys. I hope you enjoyed and keep on baking. Bye.